Hello and good morning, friends. Welcome back to Empires and Puzzles, and on this Monday, it has brought us a brand new portal once more. This time around, it is the Magic Tower portal. And, of course, as per usual, they are releasing a couple new options for us. One is going to be a Magic Carpet hero, and the other is going to be a costume for an old Magic Tower hero. So we will go into both of them, but I always do one video at a time. So let's go ahead and start ourselves off with a brand new hero, and we will get into Shareef. Okay, so Shareef is going to be a holy hero. We have the wizard class, which has that opportunity to do a little bit more damage. We also have the magic carpet family bonus, just a reminder of what you're getting with that. They go ahead and start the fight with full flight momentum, and they gain full flight momentum when they cast their specials as well. Full flight momentum, more of it is gained the slower the special is when they cast it. So very interesting stuff. But what does full flight momentum do? You have to go down to the passive to find out. So let's take a look. Full flight momentum says, when this character has any amount of full flight momentum, they gain up to 35% mana generation, up to a 25% chance to dodge, and effects diminish the less flight momentum the character has. So they do start the fight with full flight momentum, so they have that additional 35% mana gain and the extra 25% chance to dodge at the beginning of fights, making these characters a lot more interesting than their initial card seems at the beginning of fights. So just keep that in mind. All right. Also, of course, we have the weaker Mega Minions passive. This is going to reduce Mega Minions' health by 75%. This is a devastating passive versus Mega Minions. It really makes them pretty negligible. Like, you're killing Mega Minions with tile damage a lot of the times just from having them have their HP reduced by 75%. Okay, now over here in the Aether Power department, we have Defense Up. Defense Up is going to increase their defense for 20% for the first 6 turns. It does make them a little bit tankier, helps give them that initial survivability on top of the full flight momentum, making them a nice package for the beginning of fights. Now, down here in the special department, we have Skyfall Crumble. And this is operating at fast speed, which is interesting, only because a lot of times I see Defense Up on characters that are slow to give them survivability to get their special off, but this guy's just going to be a little naturally tankier at fast. All right, so he is going to deal 400% damage to the target and deal 400% damage to 2 random enemies as well. Hey, give me back my picture. There we go. All hit targets get plus 30% increased damage for 3 turns. Oh, goodness. All hit targets receive 951 bleed damage for 3 turns. All buffs affecting attack, defense, mana generation on all enemies are transformed into uncleansable ailments instead. Okay, so attack, defense, and mana generation are the things that this guy's flipping. All other buffs don't really count, but that does still help. It's a cool ability. So let's get into it. What is this guy good for? Where are his pros? Where are his cons? Do we think this guy is worth going searching for your roster? We'll talk about it right here. All right, first of all, the fact that this guy's operating at fast speed is certainly fun. I do like being able to push things out at faster speed for specials. I think that in general makes them a more usable character in most cases, especially on offensive teams. Defensive teams, due to the way mana is generated on defense, you can get away with using slower characters, especially in tanking roles, and still getting them off fairly often. But for offense, I definitely find fast to be the way to go if you can get away with it. All right, so down here we have the deals the 400% damage to the target and 2 additional enemies. Okay, so we're looking at about 1,200 damage going out from this guy at fast speed. When I say 1,200, I mean 1,200% damage. So, like, that's... Anyway, clarification there. So that's a pretty decent amount going out at fast speed. You cannot control the second and third hit. That is true. But I'm not sure that's 100% necessary unless you have a team that works with like a lot of sleeps or something like that, where you want to try to keep them crowd controlled unless they take a certain amount of damage. Like, if you're not worried about mechanics like that, this guy's just doing a pretty good amount of damage at a fast speed. All hit targets then get plus 30% increased damage for 3 turns. That's very nice as well, right? Like, if you're hitting 3 separate targets at the beginning of the fight that then get a 30% increased damage for you to do follow-up hits with, he's likely getting that debuff up before your follow-up hits if he's operating at fast speed and your other characters are maybe average or even slow. This guy is setting up a potential for them to hit 30% stronger with their specials and possibly get kills in the correct and significant order. Okay, and then all hit targets, just in case we hadn't done enough devastating things, are going to then get the 951 bleed damage over 3 turns, which with quick math is giving us about 300 and, let's say, 16, 17-ish damage a turn from the debuff. So, like, that's not bad either, right? So he's not only doing a reasonable amount of hits, putting a debuff up for more damage, he's following it up with a little more dot damage as well, which in theory is going to go up and also be affected by that 30% increase in damage, right? So although this is 317 normally, it's also getting about 30% more, which could give or take give it another 100 damage, right? So like those dot ticks, instead of hitting for like 317-ish, might come through at 417 per turn, as long as that 30% increased damage debuff remains. So pretty good all in all. I'm not really complaining about anything that I see here. The flipping of the buffs is just kind of a nice added effect. I don't know if it necessarily like moves the needle on whether or not this guy is amazing, because yes, it is helpful. It's not going to like, really do a ton more damage. There are not as many mana generation buffs out there as there are debuffs, but certainly flipping those is super powerful for game momentum. Attack and defense, those can be helpful to flip as well, but a lot of times you're running teams that already have like a defense down or something like that on the team. So like, yes, it's useful, but I feel like you're getting a lot of the effects that gives from perhaps your other characters, except for the mana buff flipping. That is like pretty awesome, especially if their team is based around trying to increase their mana generation. This guy can really help destroy that plan. All right, so the other thing that I didn't really cover on this is because I usually look at these guys mostly from like a rating or, war standpoint. This guy's also a very good Titan hero. The reason I say that is because, of course, you're going to be hitting the Titan with all 3 of these hits at fast speed. So he will be doing 3 solid whacks on the Titan and leaving dot damage and leaving a debuff to increase the rest of your team's damage on the Titan by 30% for 3 turns. This guy is a fantastic hero to add to your Titan lineup, especially if you're not getting a damage increase from any other characters. He's really going to help your team. Plus, he's doing those 3 solid whacks each time at fast speed. So yeah, I mean, all in all, there's not a lot to dislike about this character. I think he is pretty solid in most aspects of the game. So if we get to the rating part, let's go ahead and honestly, I want to give this guy a 9. Like, I would normally say a lot of new heroes recently have been coming out at 8 because they've been a little bit stronger than average. But this guy is really hard to deal with, especially considering he's fast speed and his full flight momentum will increase that fast speed by 35% at the beginning of the fight. So, like, that's crazy because you're bordering on very fast for this guy. And that will help you versus Titans, right? Because you're getting that damage increased debuff up faster for the rest of your team. That will help you in raids because you're matching less tiles to get this guy off. That will help you in wars. Like, even thinking of this guy as like a war tank, right? He's got the increased 25% chance to dodge at the beginning of the fight. He's going to go off really quickly if he's hit with tiles with his mana generation at fast and full flight momentum. So, like, he's going to be wailing out a fair amount of damage quite quickly, and putting these debuffs up on people in dots. Like, I can see this guy being a bit of a headache as a tank. Maybe not necessarily like game changing, because you can probably kill him as a tank not too difficultly, but how much devastating damage will this guy do before he goes down? And furthermore, if they are running a team with a very reasonable resurrector, even if this guy goes down, he might not be down and out for the fight. So as he cripples you going down, they might be able to resurrect him and bring him right back to deal with later in the fight. So, like, yes, I do think this guy will be a headache. I like him all in all. The way his package is designed is significant and functions well. So I will give this guy a 9. Congrats if you pull him. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you next time.